Good evening once again. I'm Dr. Ibrahim Dassamasu. The first, I'm the Executive Director of the Democratic Empowerment for Economic Progress. DEEP is a civil rights nationalistic organization propagating the true sense of nationalism and the call to national duties. DEEP was set into motion for the purpose of promoting nationalism, educating the Liberian society on those fundamental things that they need to understand and exist as a nation state. When we talk about nation state, we're talking about a society that the citizens are engaged, that things and major decisions come from the citizens. The Liberian society is not being trained to uphold the essence of democracy, to practice the nationalistic tendency that they may have studied, maybe through the grade school, colleges, or that have been propagated by government through various media. Government, past and present, always try to use those exploitative measure by limiting what the citizens should know, how they should conduct themselves, and those kind of education that they need that will cause them to make more demands and be more involved in government. So against that backdrop, they have already chosen to ensure that everything that have to do with government, those sensitive information and things that will limit their ability to be exploitative, they try to ensure that the citizens are kept incommunicado of those things. So they limit the citizens in those things. And that is extremely frustrating. Citizens are not vigorously taught the nationalistic response to what it means to be a citizen. Now, like today's discussion, we'll be looking at the citizen role in upholding the tenets of democracy along with constitutional practices that goes along with being a nationalist. So, the citizenship is the common thread that connects all citizens, all Liberians. As long as we say we are Liberians, what connects us is that citizenship. So it means that when we agree that we are all citizens of this country, it connects us to this country we call Liberia. We are a nation bound together by shared values. Now, those shared values are not things that are taught in schools. Those are things that are not vigorously hindered. Because when a society is based on these values, national identities, if you undermine your national identity as a sovereign nation, what are those things that you stand to suffer through? Even college graduates in this country cannot tell you. Those of you listening to me today cannot say it. I'll be happy if you can just go on our page. That's the Deep National Hour Facebook page. I would highly appreciate where you to just share this thing as many times as possible and also join the cause and so that we can be able to help liberate our country. It's much more good for you to be nationalistic than be partisan because we see that partisanship in this country have not profit anybody. The only thing is we try to just please our individual egos by saying my party is better than this, your party is better than that. And after all those arguments that you carry on, where is your country? Your country is the least. You are older than almost all the countries in Africa, more than 100 years. Yet you are begging countries for electricity, you are begging country for oil, you are begging country for this oil assistant and that oil assistant. You are not proving to be like the great grandmother of all African countries. Okay, so all the big show, all the big mouth you make and flattering you do all over the place, it boils down to nothing. You are not rated among the most successful countries in Africa or even West Africa. So it tells you that you are only fooling yourself, you are only mistreating yourself, misguiding yourself as a nation. You are not doing it. And no longer how much you do it or how long you do it. it just amounts to being a failure. Okay, your country becomes an impoverished nation, a failing state, and the only thing we have to say in our respective corners is just to just talk about this country is bad, this country is this, and country is that. So until we understand that the interest of this country is goes far beyond party interest, individual interest, this country will go nowhere. Okay, and as long as the society continues the way it is, believe in tribalism, you go to election like what happened in Nimba County, and the people are much more concerned not about the level of competence or no and experience. They are much more concerned about it's time for Guillaume, it's time for Manomet, those primitive barbaric attitudes. This is a very bad generation, very bad generation. Okay, how do you expect people to help you when you don't define yourself in the course of development? That people can say these guys are sound, they deserve whatsoever help. Other countries have been fighting to get billions of dollars out of different programs. We're going to look at you and give you that kind of money when you conduct yourself the way you do. Okay? Think however you want to think, but until you put yourself in the corridor of developed nations, the way they conduct themselves, the way civilized society conduct themselves, you will only be feeling bad and misinterpreting everything around you and live in poverty. You know how many person dying today because they can't afford to go to hospital, and even those who have money to go to hospital, you don't have good hospitals. Okay, your entire budget, and it's just around politicians. Politicians they misuse it. They use it for the personal gain. Almost all your labyrinths in this country that are successful came from government. Okay, but you see, in the private sector, a lot of non-librarians are very much successful, very much successful. Okay, but they are not in government. It's because the society is not training people to be strong, to be innovative, to be competitive, to have a strong desire to succeed. Still are not in the labyrinth society. Labyrinth society don't have a competition. You see, schools that existed over 30, 40 years ago, you see the building, nothing different. Maybe just a little expansion because of population. You don't see competition in schools where you see modernization, you see a lot of uniqueness. The citizens themselves want to go to top schools and other things, and so it puts demand on the school proprietors to be able to develop, bring in new technologies and other things. It don't happen yet. I want to want to go to school. And I get how it is to go to school. If they can have fun and wear some tracksuits and other things and have some gather together and everything, it's for them. In fact, the parents themselves are terribly reckless. They are not even going after to secure the children's future, to make sure the children are even learning. It amazes you that many parents for many years they don't even go on school campus to go to things like PTA meetings and other things. No, they don't care. Okay, so the children are defining their own course of action. Okay, and you see it all over the place up to now. Uh, um, um, the Joseph Numabaka, we're not thinking about putting a permanent solution to our legislative crisis, but we want to pacify people because the society is weak. So you take current from somewhere and you try to put it in the system to give people a little bit current or as and increasing the number of hours that people have electricity, and the society feel pleased with it. So tomorrow, by the time your next door neighbor say, "Okay, we have some situation, getting you current," again, the country plunge back into darkness because we are not finding solution to anything. The only thing you are doing is just to get pacify situation because the society is not a vigorous, talent determined society. So you see the young boys are coming up with their hair, they're doing all kind of funny hair stuff. Everybody will be like that, and those sacking. The young girls are there. So the whole society is tending to love and to have sex and drink, have fountain, and try to see how you can get money, whether through homosexual practices and through stealing, withdrawal, and other things. Nobody cares for moral values in this country. So everywhere is terrible. The church is terrible, and the pastors are making all the money just for themselves. They can't insist that they're assisting pastors and other ministers in the church. And everything is terrible in the society. You cannot have a society like that. That's the reason why we always say that If this country should move forward, it means that this country needs a strong, educated, radical nationalist to be president. Okay, that will help change the minds of the citizen, change them, make them to take their minds for the kind of less evil and things, major evil things, and focus on the reality. Okay, the society have not yet understood, have not grappled up with what it means to be a citizen. How can you transform your life? So people want to make easy path, get involved in prostitution, easy path, get involved in homosexual practices, gay, lesbian, easy path, join the fraternity, easy path, get involved in virtual other thing. Easy path, it doesn't carry the country anywhere. It can develop this country. No, it doesn't. Okay, it won't develop this country. So we have to see the right path that will help this country go forward. And across, everybody's just terrible in the society. This generation is a very bad generation. Everybody just bad. You go in the market, everyone will exploit you in the market. Business people have come and are doing worse. Okay, they bring sustainable products and say at more expensive price. So the guys then more are interested in business because things that you will buy $2, you can come in library and sell it for $10, and nobody cares. And the government workers or officials only come and get their own cost and move along. The society only cry and move along. Okay, everything just getting bad in this country. Materials are substandard and expensive. The good quality, even those business guys who want to bring good quality material, who have been bringing good quality materials, the material live in him for a long time. Okay, so because other people they bring low quality material, so at the end of the day, those who mean well in the business environment get strangulated, and we also have to adapt to these bad practices and exploit the society. And these are all impediments that are passing in our country simply because the society is not capable of thinking. Are we citizens? What are the responsibilities of being a citizen? Okay. What are those things that we need to do? How do we carry our country forward? How do we look at, most of the time we don't read, so it just exacerbates the problem. Because if the society is reading, they'll get to understand that you are rated among the poorest. The poorest. You think we could get a full, some liquor and have pound town today and move around and try to get some clothes? That is not the definition of life today. Okay? If you cannot afford up to $1,000 a month, you are terrible. You are way down the ladder. Okay, in the library society, bulk of them can reach $100 a month. Okay, so it tells you that the situation in library is grave. And it needs people to be able to sit down and read, uh, 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 um, to first of all have a national dialogue and see how can we get this country up. Our individualistic approaches will not help this country. Until we get a radical leader who will just come and step and try to straighten things out and get everybody, but those individual approach and egocentric desire or quest, we always when people get involved into something, the society is not prepared to support, so people get involved into initiated advocacy to be able to get relevance and by the way into politics because the society will not support you. Okay, we say that everything you love, you put your finances and put all resources to it. But the Liberian society is not like that. It's not like that. So it is quite unfortunate that you will not have good leaders because the society is not prepared to build to mold good leaders. Okay, so you got these bad characters that live in the society who love gambles and come and deceive people and get into power and just loot. You won't tell me if people have character, people have understood what the essence of nationalism, citizenship. All about you. You think that Richard Cohen and the group of guys that have been referred to as gangsters will congregate themselves and hijack power and don't care what it does to this country, and Baka will support it, circumventing constitutional practices, and the society is already weak because they know the society is weak. The society is now a principle-minded society. You know, leaders they know. They say your leadership is a reflection of the society. So the people know. The people know you are weak. So they can do things and get pull a piece of discussion among you people, and you people already confused. You already do things just by emotion. You're not critical thinkers. You're not analytical in what you do. You are not careful of your decisions, and you're able to evaluate to learn lesson. Right now, many people thinking about how to change Joseph Baka 2029. They're not thinking about how to get a good leader. They don't think about changing him. So the West 6 years beyond George we are, and even you, it will amaze you to know that even some people are so ridiculous and reckless to the extent that they feel that are you doing a little bit better than George and during George Weah than Joseph Parker, forgetting to know that the challenges of yesterday are different from today. Neither to talk about what happens tomorrow. Does George Weah have that kind of intellectual capacity to be able to address? Why is he not making music nowadays? Because he's trying to manage the little money that he has. But when you have too much money around him as president, he makes a lot of music and take a lot of time for local kind of comedian stuff and have fun all over the place. That's how this guy conduct himself because you have a unserious generation, so you get unserious leaders. Okay, if your country is thinking about you've been seeing of yourself kind of poor decision you've been making, you'll be thinking hardly and brushing aside these terrible old politicians and see how can we find a new breed of leaders, new parties, those parties who have not been given the chance to lead. Let us go in that direction. Let us see how we can start looking at them and critiquing them, and let's find somebody who has the heart, who has the spirit, who has legacy in good practices, good lifestyle. He or she doesn't need to have money, but because the principal practices that person have had over the years, we can entrust the country into that person's hand. When it comes to start thinking like that, then it means the economy will become strong. But if you are just lazy, you're able to think critically, to start thinking, and we have been making decisions using this. So we need to cancel it. Let's use another approach to see things, but you use the same old way of doing things, tribalism, partisanship, and money as a way of electing leaders, and you just been getting back a bunch of incompetent, corrupt criminals to be leaders. So if you keep trading on that same path, you get nowhere. Nowhere you can get anywhere. Okay, so we will highly appreciate with you to just join us on the Deep National Our Facebook page. That is DEEP National Our Facebook page. And we'll be highly appreciate for you to share it, as many as possible so that all can see and watch. And let us see how can we work together to transform this country. If we do it individually, that means that we have long road to go. Okay, so you can just subscribe, join all the process, and we will open a special line that we can start interacting with people directly so that we can have some contribution from you on how we can make this program and go as far as possible and how you can also be a part of this particular train. Okay, so we say a citizen is an individual recognized under custom or law as being a legal member of a sovereign nation. Now, most of us here, we only say by mouth that we are citizens, but we don't even have any national document to substantiate our claims. Okay, how can you say you're a citizen? You even get passport, you don't have something that connects you to this country by legalism. All right, even though I think this is a bad generation, even though the labyrinth citizenship now is just like easy to grab, it's on sale. Anybody can get the citizen ID card. Anybody can get Liberian passport. And anybody can get Liberian voting cards. It's just cheap. It's a very bad generation. We need to stop doing what we're doing. If we cannot stop, it means that you think that you are suffering now on a Baga's government, or you did suffer on a George Weah that messed in us, and Baga is so incompetent, he even able to resurrect this nation. You will experience more. Okay, you experience more. Success is not cheap. Success is not cheap. Those countries you are saying very, very successful, citizens got to define their action. People got to work hard, learn hard, think hard. And they don't just run into things and make decisions because they feel that we have to make decisions. People don't do things that way if you want to succeed. If you want to succeed, you gotta be very, very mindful, very careful how you conduct yourself, why you do things. Critique yourself. If you want your marriage to be very successful, you have to critique yourself. You gotta critique the marriage. You gotta critique your behavior. You gotta ask your partner, "Am I really satisfying you in this way, in that way?" You got to do some evaluation. Are we conducting ourselves and evaluating ourselves? No. If you are conducting yourself and evaluating yourself, you have known that taking money for politicians to elect them have not worked. You won't practice it. But because you don't do, you still taking money. Okay? Like Quato place in Lima and all over the place, the vice president was there dishing of money and other things. Because people know you. The people know you. You are for sale. You are for grabs. So at the end of the day, you turn around to suffer. You think the guys get that money free? That they can't give it to you just because your name, you have a name and you have voting cards? No. The people know you are weak minded. You stand for nothing. How can you be insulted and you celebrate on it? When somebody comes and give you money to vote for them, the person is trying to tell you are a fool. Nothing more than that. The person trying to tell you are a fool, you're a stupid person, you don't deserve intellect, you're not capable of being able to rationalize on how what can it's an insult. In every civilized society, you insult to even approach a woman using money. There's the money I want you, so take the money so you can love to me. You do it in a decent woman, they will insult you because you have already insulted them. Okay, but when your society has no value, have no standard for themselves, have no integrity, so they sit and allow politicians, no matter how much sound things you tell the Liberian society, they are all concerned about item 13. What you brought for or what look at the things in. They are not concerned about the rational components of what you will be saying. No, this is not what they're concerned about. Okay. So at the end of the day, since they are lazy, they are weak, they are unable to analyze things, people, the Liberian society doesn't practice selling politics, a politics of ideas, politics of industrialization that brings about industrialization, economic growth, and other things. And the Liberian society practices topsy politics. Bunch of lies, no further explanation. Just tell the man if the man needs job, tell the man will provide your jobs. That's all he needs. The mechanics to get it done. He doesn't care. A man is so lazy. He doesn't want to go through all that to see whether he even have the capacity to even give one job if he talk about giving the entire people job. Okay? So it's terrible. It's very, very terrible. That's how the Liberian society is. I would highly appreciate for you to just follow us up on our Facebook page. You can just follow us up. And we highly appreciate you can share it. That is good. I know as a citizen, it's good for you to do it. And let the message go find why. So there are lots of critical things that we need to understand. So all citizens are entitled to enjoy all the legal rights and privileges granted by that country. To them, and they must learn to obey the laws and attain their duties when called upon. All citizens have the right and responsibility towards that nation. We are here. What are we doing with what we are hearing taking place at the Capitol? Okay, you want to move your lawmaker over? Use the most appropriate way. You can't use the wrong way. Okay, and the ruling that came from the Supreme Court on that matter, disgracefully, the response of the president Barker shows that the president is not prepared to uphold the rule, the constitution that he took an oath to protect. He's not prepared to do that. Okay, he's not prepared. If he is prepared, he will have accepted. You have accepted the the you have accepted the ruling and be asking the purported speaker Richard Cohen to relinquish his position and turn over. It's not interference. It is not. You give the man security duties and other things and coming budgets in his presence and other things. And those are all things that when government is incompetent, poorly prepared, they try to do the wrong thing, sometimes deliberately, sometimes out of limitations. When you have three branches of government, they say they are separate and equal. It doesn't necessarily mean that any branch can do anything. It can be checkmated by the other branch. That's how poorly educated the society is. The legislative branch cannot is not law enforceable to itself. It cannot make laws and interpret and enforce. That's the reason why you can have like what we had before, where the finance ministry collects the money and disperse the money and other things. And you can't do that. So during the presidency, and that was on her agency, she proposed a system of accountability. So you get an FRA coming out of finance ministry to collect the money, and finance ministry be talking about disbursement, other things, and you have check and balance. Okay, just like you have procurement, and to have a check and balance, you have procurement and logistics. One person procure it, the other person manages it, and just a check and balance. It shows that there is some accountability, some maturity. So governance, the legislative branch should not think that you will make laws and interpret those laws. No, that's not how government runs. You see, people are poorly prepared, poorly defined, poorly educated. So at the end of the day, what other countries are trying, you love America, you want to benefit from America this way and that way. But you're forgetting to know that almost all the senators in the state in America, a little over 50% of them are lawyers. They are in a very highly educated society and they are still learning and putting highly educated people in the house. Highly educated people they are putting in the house. So you are poorly educated, poorly prepared, poorly defined. Okay, you get yourself placed in position and know that you are not being critical. You're not being critical. People are not properly learning. Our education is one of the least in Africa. You don't even have no university in this country among the top 400 universities. You don't have one university. It means that basically the way you discuss and do things define the quality of your education. So when you say three and separate branches, it means that you have a responsibility that can be checkmated by another and implemented by another. So if you make the law, the Supreme Court is there to interpret that which you have made. The Supreme Court can't go and make law to interpret it. No, you make the law. So that power to make it is in you. The power to enforce it is not in you. The power to interpret it is not with you. So do not think that because these guys are poorly prepared, poorly educated. Okay, masquerade around think that they're doing something that is more intelligent. This is separate branches. Look, strengthen your education, and people will be able to think properly and understand why the Supreme Court must come in. Okay? If the Supreme Court start making law, everybody will yell. So why can you make law and implement it? Okay? How can you? make laws and implement it. So if the legislative branch does not want certain things to happen, look, if the legislator was the one who making laws and interpreting law, there'll be anarchy, because if someone commits a crime and goes before the same guys who making the law or one of their members, they will twist the law around to appease that particular person. Okay, so and those of them who even get involved in criminality, they will twist the law around to get themselves free, because they are the one who making the law and they are the one who enforcing the law. They are interpreting the law. During those days of philosophy, when we start talking about governance coming to from Greece, coming to the Roman Empire and coming down, okay, those practices the Roman government defined is so proper, okay, so that you can have a check and balance. So you go about and make the laws. If you know that laws will catch you, if it's law says nobody should steal, and you make the law that anybody steals should go to jail for 3 years. Remember, you will not be the one to interpret that law. You will not be the one to implement that law or enforce that law. So there's another branch that will pick that law up to interpret that according to the law, anybody who steals must go to jail for 3 years. And there's another branch will be there to say, okay, we will enforce that you go to jail for 3 years. So none of the work of any branch of government, let's say, well, say it's a government, it's a government. It's a single government, but the responsibility are different. So one person cannot cheat or overstate. Okay? So the judiciary branch will depend on the guys who should enforce it to enforce that particular practice. So right now, these guys who make that law can interpret that law, so the Supreme Court must interpret it. And if the Supreme Court interpret it, it is bounding on Joseph Wagner and his executive branch of government to enforce it. To ensure by now, Richard Cohen convert details and other things have been taken for him and given back. But if he doesn't do that, then it means that, which he have not done yet, it means that he have undermined the essence, the true spirit of legalism of the Constitution. One of the greatest blessings to every country is the Constitution. When the Constitution or the policy or the laws cannot be upheld by those in offices, it requires the citizen to get up. It requires the citizen to get up, because if the officials cannot, it means that you are not safe. You are not safe. That's the reason why you see you can't go to court, because you're afraid money will win in the court. You can't go to a police station because you're afraid money will win in it. You are seated. You are not standing. You are not playing your role as citizen to stop these social and political evils that are going all around us. Okay? They are going all around us. You are not doing it. So it puts our country in a very difficult position. This country can prosper when you have a society that is made out of a very bad generation, sleeping generation, empty talking generation. This is a bad generation we have. Okay? It's bad. We need we we need to stop these things. We need to stop these things. Look, we have to start to think, what are we doing as a group of individuals that can set the stage for our children to come? What are we doing? I would highly appreciate for you to just go on our page. That's the Deep National Our Facebook page, DEEP National Our Facebook page, and subscribe. And if you share, it'll be very good of you that you share as many times as possible. We have to work to build our country. Look, I'm not attached to political party, and I won't get myself attached now. It's my right to do. You know, but until the citizen himself understand that, look, we got to be more focused on the country and start doing the same thing. This same bunch of corrupt politicians, you need to pack them off the stage. The same CDC and Unify that mess up and keep messing up the thing, you need to back them off the stage. You need to start to cancel a lot of things that you have done that have led you to where you are. and start thinking, let us go for a new page. But don't go for a new page and do the same thing. No, go for a new page with new ideas. Hear those things that you don't like to hear, but you want to get the right things done. Listen to politicians. Let them come and tell you how to do things. I know what capacity do they have to implement that which they tell you. Because manifesto is easy to put together. Implementation is difficult. So you look at track record, meaning you look at the years of how that particular person have conducted himself or herself over the period of time. I think our person be engaged. What's the standard of their life? Some group of people need to go and check beyond people and know, oh, this guy being like this, he being good, he being no, upright in his or her behavior. Follow up on things and let the society be able to learn and go after the kind of thing. It means that you are prepared. But these recycled politicians, you need to take them off the stage. CDC, you need to get rid of them, take them off the stage, and start thinking about something much better. And the habit of tribalism, get them out of the stage. Taking money, get them out of the stage. Partisanship, this and that. No, go for the real issues. Then it means that you are prepared to push the country forward. In the absence of that, we have serious problem. And I want to encourage you that it is not late. We are going to attain 178 years. We can make a difference. Okay, it's very important. Until your time is up, you can still make a change. You can make a difference. Okay, so it's good for us to work on getting there. There's a need to promote a true sense of nationalism and national duties among Liberians. There's a serious Liberians really need to be taught to love their country. They actually need to be taught to get to be devoted to this country, to see how we can get this country moving. But they can't do that until you put it in that education to be able to train the generation on what it means to be a citizen. What are your benefits of being a citizen? What are those things you are entitled to? What are those things then accept in the society? What are those things? How you can go about changing things? You got to lay the roadmap for them so that they understand that to have a successful nation is not to be seated, is not to be seated and relax in how you conduct yourself. It's not possible that way. Look, let me tell you, those of us who are very, very successful, very, very successful, we 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 need to give our own experiences out. That to become successful is not an easy thing. Success is not easy. It's not easy at all. We have too many things to do to become successful. Okay, too many things to do to become successful. So we will love to just take a short. We'll love to take a short break. Take a short break, and we come back and we pick up with the remaining part. So I'll highly appreciate for us to then can we take a short break? Again, this is the Deep National Hour show. So we'll highly appreciate for you to just go on our page and um, share it as many times as possible. We have too many things to discuss, and we will keep discussing it immediately after our Okay, we are back again. We are back for the final half of our discussion. So, you see, the Liberian society is so much individualized that individual interests take priorities over the country. So individualistic. Librarians have not been taught about nationalism and national duties. Politicians are afraid that by educating the Liberian society about their basic rights and obligations will run them into limitations. So they prefer to keep them on a limitation in order to have more control over them. Okay? Now, let's just conclude on just what we were talking about. Every citizen have a responsibility to ensure that this country works better. Every citizen has that responsibility. So if you intend to have such thing done, it means that what that is taking place in the country today should not ever take place. All right? Citizens have moral and nationalistic responsibility and a constitutional responsibility to ensure that you can have few individuals who just keep breaking the law. Okay? George Weah government was incompetent, but the incompetence of Joseph Baga coupled up with that tyrannic attitude, like an amateur government, no, is too alarming. Okay, you can have a government that refuses to play by the rule. They respond by the president, to the Supreme Court ruling was completely derogatory. It's not healthy. Completely, it's not. He's our president. We have to be careful with how he conduct things, how he say things. Okay, because the good of this country is far more better than the interests of individuals. Okay, than the interests of individuals. You can't do that. So I want to acknowledge all Liberians that we need to stand up. This country will not help us. We must help this country. You see in the West when you hear say it's not what your country can do for you because your country can now move. Is what you can do for your country. The country needs you. The country needs you to stop these bad practices. Okay? If the Supreme Court tells you that you are not a legitimate leader, immediately, if Kun was a responsible citizen, he will have relinquished power immediately upon that declaration and submit to the law. But this guy don't care. And I would tell Kofa, um, it's not about winning the case, no. It's about ensuring that the rules, that the laws of this country are upheld. You got to uphold the laws of our country. So it's not just about winning. You got to remain as speaker until the right thing is done. Resignation is not an option in this particular thing. We can't go and say, yeah, you winning now, so you can academy playing the same rule. There was the essence of people been talking that the law should be upheld. And I mean, it's just the same like Eddie Styles and Eddie Snow. Those are two miserable, disappointing failures. Okay, you have to make the difference. Let there be a different record be rating of you. There will be a different record rating of you. So we encourage you that you remain as long as the law is on your side, remain as speaker as long as it takes. Okay? Whatever they want to do, whatever they want to say, they can say it. Those are illegitimate in the group of individuals. If the person wants to keep trading on that same path, which is terrible for this country and for his own administration, I thought he would have, because for me, before the even election, I told you, everything I have said on my platform before the election, Joria, it came to pass. Everything. They even went beyond. Everything I have said about if you elect Joseph Baga, come to pass. So, when people told me, say, but now you said it to him, it's not about, being like supposed to be being prophetic. It's not being prophetic. Education gives you the ability to be able to predict. That's one of the goals of psychology. It gives you the ability to be able to rationalize things and be able to see if somebody can even start to lie to you that he has 42 and know that that's a miserable stand that was taken. You don't have 42. You'll be able to perform the wisdom of 42. It's not possible. You were never in government for the 2 years. So it means that all throughout the world, the 1991, all you were still in government. You were the only person working. So, settle which administration were you working under? You lied to the society. The society is not capable of thinking. It's not capable of thinking. Okay, so even it says here, just where I was in government, you added everything to your time, and you got the 42. The society is weak. So society will accept it. But now the magical thing is when you come up and say that you have a degree that you don't have, and you need to perform that which is required of that particular degree, there you see reality, and then where we are. Okay, it's easy to say things. I mean, get for the 2 years, but now can you exhibit those experiences, the competence from that for the 2 years? You don't have it, so you cannot give it. What a man does not have cannot be able to give. So it was disappointing. But in the particular time, I think the president needs to cool off small. He needs to cool off. If he's not the one in charge, because I said it before the election, during the election period, I said it on my platform. You go back, you check those records, you hear it. I said that this government, the president, going to be passive, like just we are indeed. I know Joseph Walker, the president, is passive. He's not somebody really in charge. Um, People need to slow down and investigate to be able to make informed decisions. Those informed decisions put put you in a better position to make decisions. Okay, so if other countries are succeeding, it means it's the quality of education and decisions that they make. The quality of education and decision that they make. If you are poorly prepared, look, immediately advancement cannot be your portion. You may be able to survive, you may be able to buy one or two things for yourself, you may be able to build a house and other things, but those are the low class part of life. Because even today, in modern in war, just as a house with maybe 2 bedrooms and kitchen, other things, then the facilities are in that particular house, or the quality of material used in that house will be maybe around $500,000. You are not paying it like that. You just look for your cement, other things, and put some bidding and put your regular sitting in it. If they say run POP, in the entire house, you don't give up doing that. So you see that even in this country, bigger buildings and other things are being owned by not labyrinths. That's how unique our country is when it comes to being a failed state. Okay, but we can change, and the only way we can change, except we start looking at the negatives, okay, and supporting it. Rather, let us start to evaluate our actions. Okay, what I listen to radio many times. People can say, "How we get here? How we answer this question? How you get there? You get there by the decision you make." Okay. So if you make decision based on sentiment and you want to change, erase sentiment. If you make decision based on partisanship and you want to change, cancel partisanship. If you make decision based on travel line, friendship, it means that you want to change, cancel those things. If you make decision because they're making and pay us per hour and get a community fee scholarship and get up money, it means you want to change, you got to cancel those things. It means that you are taking step in the right direction. But if you need change, but yet and stay those things, those practices that cause you to be an imperfect nation, you maintain them, you stay go with them. You don't like to listen to debates. You don't listen. Maybe Dr. Silva is speaking up there, so because I'm seeing some things and about maybe your leader you are not comfortable with, so you say I can listen to him. How do you learn those salient things? I would say, how do you get the meat for in my message? Because if you only listen to the things that you have itching ears for, it means you can go anywhere. Okay? For us to reach the level we reach, we have to read books and listen to all kinds of tips. Even some tips will not even sound good in our ears, but we listen to it. Because if you want to be a polemist, like those who do Christian apologetics. You have to study your opponent. Those who play football, you can't say you want to be a good team. You only study about yourself. No, every other team that you should play or you should meet in the league, you got to study them. Then you'll be able to learn from them, learn from other. Those of you, a lot of you young guys, you love football, but do you draw any idea from those sports? You don't. So you need to draw ideas. If you're going to play a game, you got to study the team, the pattern, the composition, individuals, player, their capacity. You got to study those things. So if you want to be a good person, don't only listen to those people you love listening to because you'll be one-sided and extremely limited. Okay? You don't go to school and learn one subject. You don't go to college and learn one course. I know sometimes people say, I don't like our course. They want to came, I want to do accounting. But you'll be learning different things. Why are you learning those things? Those are all contributing factors to making you a successful person. Because you should have a lot of different information in your head to be able to properly define your course of action. But if you cancel those things from your life and you feel that because you want to be an accountant, so you only need to read accounting courses or you only focus your attention on those accounting courses, I can tell you for very free, you are a failure. The society doesn't run that way. So we need to fight to build our society. And the only way we can build our society, except we stop doing those things that undermines the sovereignty of our country. Again, I'm Dr. Ibrahim Dassamasu the first. I'm the executive director of the Democrats and Empowerment for Economic Progress. As a Dutch nationalist, I have moral obligation to this country to share my own opinion. Okay, there are a lot of things we need to correct in this country, from the family, the way family is being ran. I don't know, fathers are not taking responsibility. Mothers are not taking responsibility to where they should be. Even much more of the burden will always fall on the female, and you see that we focus on the children. The children most often do what they want to do and come up the way they want to come up. These are all things that undermine the society. And the five basic units of every society start with the family. So if you cannot build the moral status of the family, it means that you have a very bad society. Because the people from the family will enter the remaining four units of the society. Because we have education is people from the family with education. So if they don't have the proper training, proper orientation, they enter education, they'll mess it up. They enter into the economy, they will mess it up. They enter into government, they will mess it up. They enter into the relations and the cycle, they will mess it up. Any sector they enter, they will mess it up. So what we exhibit in the future are those things that we learn from the family, from the community. So it is good for us to understand that all these things are all our responsibilities, and we need to stand up and do that. Okay, so I will be on this platform every Friday by 5 p.m. and every Saturday by 8:39 p.m. Around that time, we'll be on this platform. So we highly appreciate for you to invite someone to watch and share this soon. We say Amen Hamo. We say thank you for viewing this play from Cac City. We highly appreciate you. That is Hammond. We highly appreciate you and all of you that will be following this show from time in from a couple of years back. You have been following this country. But the other thing, we will ensure that this country change. Okay, this country must change. We have so many things that we have been talking about, and we'll keep talking about them. Okay, we'll keep talking about them. You can have a society that is weak. You can have a society that your jobs are taken away from you. You can have a society that your business is taken away from you. You can have a society that you have everything that should be peculiar to the Liberian citizenship. It's been just mortgaged out to anybody and everybody. This is not a country we're running. This is not a country. And we will speak on it and we will take actions to ensure that what we speak come to pass. Until I meet you again, I'm Dr. Ibrahim Dassamasil the first, nationalist, the executive director of Democratic Empowerment for Economic Progress. I would love to hear from you. I would love for us to get in contact. I would like to discuss. I would like to see how we can move our country forward. Again, I'll be on this platform here every Friday by 5 p.m. And I will highly appreciate for you to just invite others, for you to subscribe to our platform. That is the Deep National Our Facebook page, DEEP National Our Facebook page. I will highly appreciate for you to join us. And then on Saturday by 8:39, we'll be on this platform and you can go along. God bless you until we meet again. I'm Dr. Ibrahim Tassamansi the first, a nationalist, the executive director of the Democracy Empowerment for Economic Progress. Thank you. God bless you. Until we meet again. God bless you.